Om Sri Sai Ram. Please accept my love and us at your lotus feet, Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. I will do briefly one prayer. Om Saraswati Brahma Parvati Parmeshwara Lakshmi Narayana Cha Prabhu. Om Sita Rama Radha Krishna Netrulde Ramdev Cha Prabhu. Tu Sai Sirdi Sai Satya Sai Premascha Prabhu. Om Sarva Hruday Sthito Sai Vibhu. Nirmal Niswart Nishal Nitya Satya Ananta Prema Rupa Sai. Sa Parama Premascha Sarva Lokanam Hrudayani Vijayate. Om Para Vyu Vibhava Antaratma Archana Chanama. Tu Prashanti Nilaya Sthito Vibhava Nama. Sarva Shanti Samruddhi Ananda Cha Pradayaka Ram. Om Charitam Raghunathasya Satakoti Pravistaram. Ekaikam Aksaram Pusam Mahapataka Om Charitam Sai Nathaya Sada Sarva Mangalam. Ekaikam Leela Paramanandam Pradayakam. Om Charitam Sai Nathaya Satyam Sevam Sundaram. Ekaikam Leela Santim Samruddhim Sadanandam Pradayakam. Om Shanti Shanti. I am very privileged for sharing my views today with all of you. I was born in India, and our family was, farming. And when I was in a school, we didn't have even electricity. We didn't have running water. And but my family was fortunate that they put me in the boarding school. And I got the full attention of dedicated teachers, like many of you have seen in Prashanti Nilayam campus, many education system. There I developed this desire, inner desire to find God within me and outside. I was looking different places, but my hobby was to read different autobiography and different great sages like Ramakrishna Paramhans and Vivekananda and so on. And one of the things I determined that in my life, Vivekananda is very fiery. He really inspires so many young to do something. And I felt I should do something. And then I went to engineering school after finishing my high school. I got my mechanical engineering in India and came to this country at a young age of 20. But even though we were near Mahatma Gandhi's place in Gujarat, and we were influenced by that also. Even in our high school career, we were even using ratia, which is the making a thread out of cotton to make an independent India in those days. And but his influence was also on me. But one of the things I didn't understand, or I misunderstood, that Gandhi said that what goes in man is not that important as much as what comes out of man is important. And in the computer jargon now we say, garbage in, garbage out. But at that time, at a young age, when I left India, in India I was pure vegetarian, no smoking, no drinking, nothing. When I came here, we were all young, and at that age we knew everything. That was our psychology at that time. And influence was around there, like a Roman in Rome. And I learned some of this Rajasic and Tamasic activity here. But Swami says that if you have a big jar and if you put a wheat in it, then wheat will come out at the bottom. But later on, if you start putting some other grain, barley or something, in the beginning, only wheat will come out. But later on, that barley which you put will come out. So in the beginning years, when we were not fortunate at that time, like Sai Centers and Sai devotees like yourself, many of you are so well, this kind of thing. I wish I had a company like yours. So this is for some of the youngsters who are around, they can definitely benefit from a company like yours, many Sai Centers around the world. And then, but inside me, this urge for God was there. I was crying for God. And like Ramakrishna Paramahamsa said, if you cry for one day, God will come. And I was crying. And then what happened that after I finished my PhD in 68, my advisor wanted me to stay and teach in university because I taught for 4 years. Then I felt that I should do practical thing. What knowledge I used, I should use it. Otherwise, what good of just taking knowledge and knowledge? And Swami also mentioned that action is very important if you have a knowledge. If you don't have action, then knowledge is not useful. Same way, action without knowledge is not useful also. So I went to the industry and I wanted to serve only in a civil industry, not in the defense industry at that time. Even though my background was mechanical and aerospace engineering, I stayed with the civil industry. Then I joined Ingersoll Rand there. And since my prayer was going on, God heard my prayer and he transferred me from New Jersey to Pennsylvania, and from Pennsylvania to short assignment in California. And like in this country, they say, go west for gold, And my God, I really found gold, Swami himself. But it was like in the weekend, I used to visit various different religious organizations like Hare Krishna or Vivekananda Society or Arvind Ghosh and some others places. One time I happened to be at my friend's home, and like normally we drive the car and we bring it to the garage, but we don't know how to turn off the key. And the car is in park and running in neutral. I was sleeping in my bed, but my mind was going and going and going and going. And many of us may have experienced that. But then he had a book beside my bed, and I read the book of Baba. In those days, there were only 2 books on Sai Baba. And this book was written by Charles Penn and Faith, and Tigard. So, that book. So I read and I told my friend in the morning, Kanchan bhai, this Sai Baba is doing like Rama or Krishna. He's making even people alive from death. Is this true? And he said, yes. I said, no. Tell me some more names, in Los Angeles. I want to meet everybody. I was so hungry. I went to different people, I'll ask them, did you see Sai Baba? Did you see God? I went to Charles Penn, Bob Bremer, Indra Devi, and many devotees you might know, and some other devotees, they were influential in me. Particularly one of the devotees, he didn't even meet Sai Baba, but he says Sai Baba is God. I said, my God, this is something interesting. And then one time I was coming back from Indra Devi's from Mexico in Tecate, we went to one of the meeting. The first time Mr. Cohen was relating his story from how he died in Madras and how, Vibhuti was rubbed on his body by Dr. Hislop and how he came to light. And he himself was narrating this story first time. And when I heard that, I couldn't believe. He was narrating like I was, courthouse, and my big book was opened up like, in our culture, we say Chitragupta books. And so, and then the Baba appeared right there in the courthouse and told him to the judge that Dharmaraja, that I need him. And I became alive. And that really impressed me, that if such a thing exists, I must go and see and check it out, Sai Baba, at least 2 times. And I was, my first year here was in Missouri for my master. And in this country, they say, I had to be shown, I'm from Missouri. And that's what happened, really. To cut it short, I went to Puttaparthi. But before that, I went to my home in Gujarat, in Baroda. My uncle was very sick. He had a prostate issue, and the doctor in Bombay, he used to go visit every maybe 6 months or so for treatment. But now, they told him that Kaka or uncle, please don't come anymore. Just stay home. And so in the village, this news spread around. Everybody were coming to see him that he's going. He couldn't sit for half an hour. But at that time, I was young and ignorant, maybe, and I insisted that, no, you come with me. this Sai Baba, we know he cures people from even death, so he will cure you. And to make it short, I and my uncle went to Bangalore by airport, and at the airport, I asked the taxi driver, he said, I'll take you. I know where Sai Baba is. He took us to Whitefield. And at the Whitefield, we went there was nobody. And we were surprised. We asked the administrator where to stay. He said, no staying. You just go out. There's nothing here. And so my uncle was still reluctant. And then one of the car came down there. And this administrator took this car inside the inner bungalow. Many of you know, you just showed me my birthplace in the Darshan video, Bangalore, my second birth, And then this car went inside, and this taxi driver told my uncle that, look, this paisa wale ko le gaya aur tum log ko nikal diya. This people took rich man inside and you people throw outside. And my uncle got so mad and angry and says, if there is a Bhagawan in Puttaparthi, we don't want to go there. We just go back right from here. And I was in really trouble now. It was around 6 o'clock. We had to find place to stay. And then somehow he melted. And he said, okay, we go to Puttaparthi tonight and we come back in the next day in the morning. So in those days in California and Arizona and all that, there was no speed limit. You could drive 100 miles an hour and stop. Cop, one time cop came and told us, just slow down. But I thought in India, to go 80 miles from Bangalore to Puttaparthi might be a couple of hours. But you won't believe, it took us 5 hours from 7 o'clock to midnight. And when we reached midnight at Prashanti Nilayam, we asked the volunteer there where to stay. He said, no, you see that tree? Just sleep under that tree, And with my uncle, we were sleeping under the tree. And in the morning, I asked my uncle, hey, did you get a good sleep? He said, no, I was whole night up. I was praying that, oh God, you are in the bungalow and I am here under the tree now. And in the morning, we went outside to the river and all that and finished things. And we sat for the darshan. Well, we were sitting there. Swami came in the morning. And I had some of these letters given by many devotees from Los Angeles. And I was thinking that if he's a God, he will pick up the letters from me and ask me, give me my letters. Nothing happened. 10 o'clock, again it started. And Swami came for second darshan. And I didn't give letters and nothing happened. But then some news were going around that Swami is going out to Whitefield back. And so I got really very much excited. I ran behind Swami. You are not allowed to do that. But at that time, there were not that many devotees. And I ran behind Swami and I shouted, Swami. And Swamiji turned, I said, Baba. And Swamiji turned back and pick up the letters and say, Indra Devi ne bheja, California se aaya, Bangalore aao. He ordered me to come to the Bangalore. And we, make it short, we went to Bangalore. And right that place, I asked my uncle, where are we going to stay? Now, during the night, at that time, there was no transportation to come back from Puttaparthi to Bangalore. You had to wait until next day morning, bus 5 o'clock. So we were stuck in the Puttaparthi for about a half a day, And then next morning we came. But in that time, my uncle was talking with few other devotees. One was a Navy officer, and another was an architect from Sirdi Baba's time. And he got really good impression about Baba. And then we reached to Bangalore. I asked, where will you stay? My uncle says, wherever this young Navy officer will stay, we will stay. I asked him, where are you going to stay? He said, I'm going to stay on Whitefield railway station platform. I said, Uncle, he's a very, very young man. You cannot survive there. But still, anyway, we stayed on the Bangalore Whitefield platform. We go in the morning and we have darshan. And things was going and see, Swami says, it is a hot iron. You cannot bend it. You have to hit it. in a furnace, and then it will become soft. So Swami was making us wait and wait and wait, and try to churn our heart. And then at the end, my uncle got very tired and he said, "No, I have to go back." And then the last morning we went for darshan again, and Swami, we were sitting down, and then around, Swami will come 9:30 in the morning, but that day for 9:45, Swami didn't come. And then all of a sudden, they announced that Swami is not coming today. So I was crying, I was praying. I know Krishna in my heart, and I was just praying. And then Swami went to visit that hostel we just showed there. And then he came back and he asked my uncle, "Oh, you came from Baroda?" And then he said, "Yes." And then Swami selected us for the interview. We were so happy that day, that particular time. And the same place where that taxi driver told that Baba doesn't take care of poor people, actually he took care of one poor people first, and then he took us 5-6 other family inside the interview. In the interview room, Swami materialized Lakshmi goddess for one of the devotees. She believed in Lakshmi. Swami knew about everybody, everything. And then Swami touched my uncle and told him, "I know your problem, so theek ho jayega." And he was cured. He had a new life. I had some few things people had given me from California to be blessed and given them. One of the lady had given, Diana had given me a stone, and she had put us different notes on it. And when I gave back, she said somehow these notes were open. I said, Swami was playing in the interview room. We didn't realize this thing, but after a couple of years, we realized that while he was playing with this stone with the leather string and note, he was opening the notes. And she had so many problems in her life. All those problems were solved. And when I met her in 75, after 3 years in New York, in Hilda's Charleston Place, she mentioned me this thing. And I was so happy that what Swami does, we cannot comprehend. He is everywhere. He knows everything, And then he came to me, and I was on my knee, and he touched my head and said, "Swamiji ka Ashirwad, I am blessing you." And that was my birth. I was so, we all have a small desire, big desire. If you have a piggy bank, you put on your head, and weight would be very much. Even the young people, old people, medium people, we all have so much tension or fear or desires, and we carry this weight. Swami says, you take this thing to the bank, and the bank will give you exchange in terms of notes, currency, and you put it in the pocket and walk out very lightly. So when Swami touched my head, it was I was floating on earth. Swami blessed me twice, and he was telling me what I'm thinking, what I am talking at the job, and so on. And it just started right there that I got a new birth, a new life. And then when I came back to California, I was very happy to relate these stories to other people. And by the way, my uncle didn't want to stay there for a 1 day, even 1 hour. We stayed there 7 days, and his life was extended for 7 years, from 72 to 79. And when he died, his reasons was not prostate-related issue, but it was a heart-related issue. And so we were so happy for that. And for me, finding God was over. I was, later on, I went many, many times and received lots of blessing. But from California, devotees asked me to start a center because my short-time assignment was over. I think this was the Swami's, God's plan to bring me to him. He gave me temporary assignment in California, and then I went back to Pennsylvania. And they said, start the center. I said, I don't know anything. In those days, this video and all those things were not available. Books were not available. Even a cell phone was not there. But still, we started in a small town, 15,000 population. It says in a small town, even somebody sneezes, everybody knows that you are sick. So we started Sai Baba Center there. Then we went to Cleveland, Ohio. and we were able to start Sai Baba Center there. And then when we came to New Jersey here, we did that. And I'm going to briefly, show some of the slides, some of the service activity we are doing here in New Jersey by Swami's grace. When we started here, we were only 2 families, and we had that year we decided that we would like to feed 500 people each, so about 1,000 families that year. And you can. When I went to Swami again in '83, Swami blessed us. One of the photographs he signed, and I will show you that. And then, so here, right there you are seeing, Swami blessed it with love, Baba, and that's how we started. It was difficult to find the place, but we look around this person, that person, and finally we found. Another main obstacle was to serve vegetarian meal, but Swami's grace thing worked out. Then, after many years, next year, in '84, Swami asked me what I am doing, and I showed him the photographs of our center, where on the wall we had a mural with Navada Bhakti's lotus devotion. We had a yoga's fire, 4 yogas, and we had an end of education is character, love, patience, forbearance, charity. And so this, and Swami saw this, and Swami said, I said, Swami, this is my mandir. Swami says, beautiful. And then Swami said, no, mera mandir, tu mera dil. And he touched my heart. And so God is a resident of our heart. God is always in our heart. And so this is Narayan Seva is, we started there. Now, during the Narayan Seva, in those days, we used to pick, cake for Swamiji, for 300-400 people. And when I showed this picture to Swamiji, Swami asked me, eggs dala, because when we were trying to discuss this thing for Narayan Seva, we were thinking to put eggs or, not. And one of the ladies said, no, I can do with the cornstarch. And so we didn't put eggs in it. Swami was aware of everything. And I said, no. And then Swami was so happy, and he slapped me a little bit on my cheek like that. And we were so happy that Swami said, this is for me. And those years, like our goal between 2 families, how much we can cook for 2 families, And we really started, we thought we'd cook for 50 people or so, but we had to start with 300 people. And Swami even was showing my face in one of the other devotees in the dream, and says, go and help your elder brother. And like a brother Rajendra came like that. And so many people, Swami was aware of everything. We just have to start. And here you see that we started in May of '83. And that particular year, we fed about 1,750 people, in a four Narayan Seva. And this kept on with Swami's grace. And even, this is not easy like this. Many times, though in those days, this awareness of hunger was not that much. But even Sanathana Sarathi, Kasturi ji was surprised that Narayan Seva in USA, because and even in Trenton, we were the major church supporting. We were carrying 50% of the serving. And then later on, awareness became more, and now we have reduced our frequency of serving there. But in a very many times, very incremental weather we had a Hurricane Gloria, we had many issues. One time where we were making even a cake, the icing was not coming well. And we were all worried what was going to happen. And then all of a sudden, one lady comes in and says, what's going on? We say, this icing is not coming well. Oh, I am expert in icing. Let me see. And she put it a bit, adjusted milk quantity, and everything was perfect. And after a few minutes, she disappeared. We didn't know where she went. So like that, so many miracles Swami has been doing with us in this thing. So, and it really provided growth for us. because of this service activity, we got so much growth from two devotees. We had one of the largest center, in our area. And then we started Bal Vikas, we started, bhajan and all other things. But the Swamis, and as time went by, like what many of us experiencing all over the world, many centers got out of this center. And a positive sign was its growth. And still, all devotees are expressing their love for Swami, and it went on. I'm looking my time here, and I'm just going to end with one thing that, Swami is a resident of our heart. And I will read Swami's talk, which Swami wrote a nice letter to devotees, students. And my children were in a primary school, and they wrote me, and we distributed that letter to devotees in center in 88. And part of that I will read because of the time. Swami says, "Camphor is white, as also the celestial cow. Stars are white, and also the wings of the swan. And so is the sweet smile of beautiful Sai. Sweeter than the sweet juice of sugarcane, or even the wine, is the love of Sai. The love of Sai is more soothing and comforting than the sight of a beautiful flower or the sweet smile of an innocent child. Sai's love can confirm all joy, happiness, and prosperity of the world. Sai's look can shower a delight of rain on the parijat flower. Sai's hand can confirm the comfort of a loving mother's hand. This alone is for your joy and welfare, the conferrer of love. I expect from you only one thing, that is, you should transform into ideal children, full of bliss, the very embodiment to the Atma, providing all this to the world by your behavior and conduct in life. This alone is true education. All other type of education are only its parts and limbs. What happiness did the demon Somkasur enjoy by stealing the scriptures and abusing Hari? What did the 10-headed Ravana carry with him seeking the wife of another person? How much did Duryodhana gain by denying even an inch of space to the Pandavas? Could Kamsa, who revengefully and watchfully killed the innocent children, save himself from death? Even today, that would be the fate of people who are opposed to Dharma. What more can I convey to you? Recognizing this truth, carefully behave and conduct yourselves on the proper path. Thus, Sai, resident of your heart." So this is my thing, my humble prayer that Swami bless us all and bring us this real joy which within us. And with that, I just pray Swami that he just give us a Santi, Samruddhi and Ananda to all. Om Sri Sai Ram.